Solo board gaming night here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze. As always, I'm going to give you an overhead view of the table so you get an idea of just how much space the game takes up. I'm going to say that there's a few things that you have to put around the actual board, like cards, but overall, this game pretty much respects your table space. You're not going to have much trouble placing this game on pretty much any size table. Normally, this is the part of the video where I look at the box and see what the contents are inside. But I'm going to leave that for later on in the video. Right now, let's just go to the basics of how to play the game. You start the game by flipping over the initiative deck. If a monster shows up, you look at the right now portion and it lets you know how far they can move. If for whatever reason, a monster cannot reach its target by moving, raise the threat track by 1. If you're defending, you get to choose which card you're going to use to defend. Just make sure that the character that belongs to the card is the character you're defending with, and play the card. You then draw a card from the monster deck and place it face down next to your card. When you're ready, you flip over the monster card and start seeing what the attack is. Depending whether the monster is attacking or defending is going to determine which part of the actual card you're going to be looking at. If the cards that were played have a combat effect, make sure you look at the rulebook and learn how to resolve the combat effects. Remember, if the combat effects happen to be the same, the defender's effects resolve first. If you receive damage, reduce your life dial by the amount of damage you received. Once the monster's turn is done, flip over the next initiative card. If it's a hero's turn, you get to take these simple actions. To maneuver, you actually have to draw a card from your deck and add it to your hand. From there, you look at your character card, and that's going to give you all the information you need, like how far you can move. Then you simply just move your figure on the board. That's it. While doing a maneuver action, you could actually discard another card and boost the maneuver by whatever number is on that part of the card and discard your card. You can do a scheme action by simply playing a scheme card. To attack an enemy, you play an attack card. It looks like this. Then you draw a card from whichever deck of the enemy you're about to attack and place it face down next to your card and flip it over when you're ready. Sound familiar, right? You just finish the action like I showed you when you were defending, and if at the end of your turn you have more than 7 cards, you discard down to 7. The only other thing you have to know is how the actual villains react. You can find that in the rulebook as well as what the loss condition is. And that's just the basics on how to play the game. Now, on to the review. The quality of the components are top notch. Starting with the box, everything has its own dedicated spot. Dials, tokens, cards, and minis fit perfectly in their designated area. What really stands out, and what I personally love, is that the insert fits fully sleeved cards. Box inserts are sadly overlooked by so many companies. Box inserts like this is proof that it can be done. I just believe that companies just tend to ignore box inserts. I would gladly pay a few more dollars for a well-made insert like this instead of spending time and money devising my own storage solution. Extremely well done insert. Let's not forget the nice wash finish that every mini has. This is outstanding. I had never played Unmatched before, so I had to read 2 rulebooks. One for learning how to play the actual Unmatched, and the other for learning how to play Tales to Amaze. Thankfully, neither book took long to learn at all. After reading both rulebooks just once, I was ready to jump in and start playing. Rarely did I ever have to refer to the rulebooks at all. This was a very simple learn. The rulebooks were very well written and incredibly easy to understand. It helps that both games actually are not that complex at all, so learning to play this game was actually kind of a breeze. Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze is a very simple game to play. You draw initiative, take actions, play cards, rinse, and repeat. The cards clearly state how their abilities are used, and I never had to stop and think about what was being asked and how to do it. This kept gameplay flowing very smoothly. This game does not feel fiddly at all. It has to be probably one of the smoothest gameplay experiences I've had since probably World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. What I liked the most was that the simplicity never got in the way of the fun. The gameplay loop in Tales to Amaze is actually both very fast and very fun. Unfortunately, the lack of variety in the main villains you face cast a huge shadow over this fun and incredibly well-made game. Mothman and the Martian Invader are the only two villains you'll be facing in this box. There are minions that you'll have to simultaneously battle, and they do help with adding some variety, but ultimately, this game falls short in this category. It doesn't help that both villains share a very similar structure to one another. For example, Mothman is attempting to destroy bridges with the help of Doom tokens or these little moth figures if you have the promo box. I kind of like those. The amount of moths on the board also affects how fast the threat meter is going to be raising, therefore destroying bridges every time it reaches the end of the track. If 4 bridges get destroyed, the Mothman wins. However, the Martian Invader works pretty much the same way with a few changes here and there. There are 8 cornfields that will constantly be invaded by aliens. The amount of aliens on the board can quickly overwhelm you and cause you to lose the game. The overall mechanics are very similar to Mothman. To be fair, the cards for both Mothman and the Alien Invader are unique, but the overall flow of how to confront the chaos they cause does remain the same. Yes, the minions help mix things up, especially the tarantula and the blob, but the villains do end up feeling samey. That's unfortunate because the game itself is really fun. It can just start to feel repetitive very quickly. This is something that I'm sure expansions will be able to fix, but I have to call it as it is, and unfortunately, the game is repetitive. On the hero side, this game shines. The 4 heroes included in this box are fun to play as. Annie Christmas, Dr. Jill Trent, and the Golden Bat are characters that honestly, I've never heard of before. I do know Elon though. Each hero has a unique quirk. Some heroes like Annie Christmas and Dr. Jill Trent have sidekicks that battle alongside them, forcing you to really be strategic with which cards you choose to play from your hand. For example, some cards can only be used by either the hero or the sidekick. It adds a completely new layer to your decision making when choosing an action. The Golden Bat can move quickly and is the bruiser of the bunch, and Elon uses his electrical ingenuity to literally overpower his enemies. These are all incredibly fun heroes to play as. However, if you're like me, you'll get your hands on expansions like the ones found in the Jurassic Park box set to bring absolute chaos and hilarity into the mix. Have you ever wanted to be a dinosaur while doing battle against a cryptid? Well, now you can. This is where Tales to Amaze shines. It's insane moments like this that bring the inner child out of me. This is incredibly fun. The components in Tales to Amaze are great. Quality just seeps through every facet of the components, and the box insert is perfection. The game is incredibly quick and easy to learn. You'll be playing in no time, especially if you're familiar with Unmatched. The gameplay is simple, yet really fun to play. However, the lack of villain variety is truly this game's greatest and biggest downfall. The minions helped with variety, but it didn't do enough to shake the fact that battling the villains did feel samey. Thankfully, the heroes were a lot of fun to play as, and having expansions lets you do crazy things like playing as dinosaurs, which is entertainment in its purest form. Expansions and other players to fight against are really going to make Tales to Amaze shine. Unfortunately, it may be a while before we see a new villain to face off against. Even though, I still recommend that you give Tales to Amaze a try. I'm glad it's part of my collection, and I just wish there was more of it. Well, aren't you the lucky one? You made it to the end of the video, and because of that, I have a very special treat for you. This was Solo Board Gaming Night. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you and everyone else has a great game night. Enjoy this bonus video. Solo Board Gaming Night, and today I'm going to be Hello? Who's there? Huh. Solo Board Gaming Night here, and today I'm going to be... Who's there? Who is it? Solo Board Gaming Night. Leave me alone, please.